Hello and merry meet. I'm Lady Tehila from the Coven of the Open Mind, and you're watching Sabbaths 101. Hail and welcome. This time we are talking about the hottest, longest, most summery celebration of them all, Litha. This celebration marks the height of the season of life. There is great bounty found all throughout the natural world. Young animals are maturing, older animals are beginning to feel weary, and everywhere you look, it's obvious that time is passing because the world is alive and changing every single day. The goddess is said to be resting in the summer heat, focusing all of her efforts on the child growing inside of her. The crop is sown by the god, and it grows strong and well under his efforts. The first of the fresh veggies from the garden are harvested and sometimes resown. And no withering, no blight, no infection is tolerated by the watchful, healing, and very green thumb of the god in his garden. Everything is happy and green, and everyone rejoices by being outside in the summer sun. This holiday occurs on the summer solstice, which varies every year, but it's usually around the 20th or 21st of June. The summer solstice is whichever day is the longest day of the year, which can vary from place to place. Many folks will stay up all night chasing the sun, watching the sun rise before they go to bed, and then they may continue to sleep throughout the day, the hottest time of the day, right? They'll sleep and rest the day away, and then do a late afternoon ritual or even an evening ritual and feast for Litha on the longest day of the year or the day after. It just depends on the tradition. And some will do the ritual at sunrise, some will do it at the peak of the heat, right? The peak of the day on the longest day, the peak of the year. So it varies a lot from tradition to tradition, and you'll just have to decide what works for you, honestly. Many people spend time sunbathing or swimming in outdoor pools, going to water parks or beaches, finding natural swimming holes, or having parties near the water. People may also take long hikes through the woods or out in nature, especially if they're like landlocked. River boating is also common. Surfing is common. So just any kind of outdoor water activity is common. Any kind of outdoor games also are common. Barbecues are very popular this time of year as well. And what people are eating, of course, berries. In colder climates, this is the berry harvest. In warmer climates, there may be a second berry harvest, but this is the first berry harvest, and that's when you first have fresh berries on your table. So, of course, berries, berry salads, smoothies, fruit parfaits, strawberry shortcake, fruit pies, just anything that contains fruit and berries, very, very common at Litha. Another common thing is fresh cream and whipped cream and cream cheese, fresh cheeses and milks. The first of that would usually be available around this time of year, so people do a lot of cooking with that. Drinks are really common. It's hot, so everyone wants something to drink. A lot of ice drinks or cold drinks, especially sweet wine, sweet teas. They may have drier wines like reds and white for evening festivities, but in the daytime it's always sweet and iced sangria, lemonade, fruit juice, or other fruity drinks, especially things that are fresh squeezed and make use of blended berry juice, again because it's berry season. Salads with fresh veggies make their way onto the table, as well as pasta and potato salads. Barbecue sauce is really common this time of year because many of the tomatoes are starting to come in. So barbecue sauce uses tomatoes. Any kind of tomato sauce is also common this time of year. Hens and chickens are common for meat because they mature quickly, so some of them are ready to slaughter this early in the summer. Eggs are still common, but not as common as for the spring holidays, and they don't feature on the altar generally. But coffee and fresh chocolate will often be used on the altar, used for an offering. They're associated with fire and represent vitality and energy, and they have a lot of micronutrients in them as well. They're just really good for you. They're commonly used as offerings in Litha this time of year. Other scents and associations found in rituals, you'll find citrus, ginger, myrrh, anything musky and masculine, things that are strong and which represent vitality and energy and strength, right? So that's what this holiday is really all about. Celebration of the strength of the god and his hard work tending to the crop so that we can have the harvest to come. Natural representations of the elements often make their way onto the altar this time of year, just to really harness that life energy that's in the air already. And this will include dirt and bowls of water. Lilies are very common. The lily bloom is in Beltane, and that really marks the start of the summer, which is sometime between Beltane and Litha. Litha is the first Sabbath fully within the summer, and it occurs just after the lily blooms. You'll find lilies often on the altar, within centerpieces, all over the house and yard. Lilies are common. Dirt, worms, snacks that are dirt and worm themed, those little pudding cups, for instance. Green foliage is also often brought in and put on the altar, or living plants most commonly. Mortars and pestles that represent creating and doing with the herbs you find in nature. Crystals are very common this time of year. A lot of earth influenced things go on the altar this time of year, especially crystals that are found in running water or at the beach. And seashells are very common as well, and sand too. So anything vibrant and wholly alive, representations of the height of summer, all of that is what symbolizes this holiday of Litha. May you all get out and feel alive this Litha and breathe fresh air. And from all of us here at the Coven of the Open Mind, blessed be.